So what do you do for dinner, one might ask? Well, especially when you're solo, you keep it easy peasy. I mean, I've done backcountry meals where we've had steak, we've had pork, we've had chicken, we've had pizza. We've really gone gourmet. But when you're by yourself, gourmet cooking really isn't high on your priority list. So I like the dehydrated stuff. Tonight I'm having hearty beef stew in honor of my good buddy Chris Zorak, aka Lee Majors, because Lee screwed up on his order the last time we did this Silhouette Trail together, and he ended up with, I think, 6 out of 7 nights he had beef stew. So Lee, I'm having beef stew tonight for you. So basically all you do, fill the kettle with water just under the nozzle, let her boil. You only have to let it boil for about a minute, and it will purify it. And then I've got coffee in the Yeti for after dinner. And every Alpine Air or Backpacker's Pantry, Mountain House, they're all basically the same. They're all pretty decent, but they give you how much water you should put in. I always go a little bit less. So tonight called for 16 ounces. I put in 14. And it takes 10 to 12 minutes once you put the boiling water in there and stir it all up for it to rehydrate. So after that time, I'll open it up and give it a taste test and make sure it's good. If not, I'll let it rehydrate a little more. And then all I'll do is I'll take my knife and I'll cut it right about there, right across. So I got a homemade bowl. I don't have to dirty any dishes, and I can burn that up after, get rid of my garbage. And if for some reason it's inclement weather, well, I just put it in my garbage bag and either burn it later or cart it out with me. So that way there's leave no trace. So that's dinner. And like I say, it's easy peasy, no mess, no fuss. And it's the way to go, especially when you're going solo. So the after dinner fire is lit. Taking care of today's garbage. Making sure it's all burnt up so I don't have to carry it out and not leaving any trace behind. And all in all, it was a very enjoyable day despite being a little on the tired side. Saw those 2 deer, saw a spruce grouse, saw that helicopter, that was neat. And most importantly, I managed to stay upright. Killarney has a way of making you slip and fall, whether it's muddy sections or slippery rocks or whatever, but when you're by yourself, I think you tend to go a little slower and make sure of every step, because the last thing you want is to twist your ankle, especially the further you get into the interior. So it's going to be an early night, obviously. Going to try and get my rest. Just going to enjoy this fire. Have a little dessert. Always bring a little snack, either a chocolate bar, or tonight it's going to be actually a couple of blueberry Pop-Tarts. And then clean up, get the food bag all hung. I'll show you that after, how that works. And then, like I say, call it an early night and be fresh to start tomorrow. So stay tuned, there's more to come. So there you go. All my food for the week is in that dry bag. It would take a rodent a little while to gnaw through it to get to anything, that's for sure. Those things are pretty sturdy. But basically it's just a carabiner hooked around, and then you hoist it up and you just follow it. You see, we've tied it over here to that group of trees, just using a little slip knot. So in the morning, just undo it, take it down, and good to go. Now, could a bear get that if it really wanted to? I bet it could. But it's a deterrent, so it's better than leaving it on the ground. And you try to keep it away. It's about 25-30 feet away from where I've made camp, so hopefully everything will be good. Otherwise it'd be a short trip with nothing to eat. But I've never had any problems, and I don't expect any this trip. I think, like I say, as long as you've done your due diligence, you've done all you can. So I'm just packing up now, trying to keep everything that I want dry underneath the hammock, so that if it does rain overnight, it will stay dry. Things like the kettle and the propane stove I brought in case of inclement weather. It doesn't matter if that stuff gets wet, but you just don't want your clothes or towels or your backpack, chair, you don't want that sopping wet. than having to carry that around the rest of the day. So I'll show you that hammock setup tomorrow a little clearer, because it really is neat and keeps everything all together, and I really love it. It's a little on the expensive side, but well worth the investment. Anyway, like I say, just clean it up, finishing a few more chores, and then it's going to be hit the rack early so I can get a good night's sleep, get the batteries recharged, and have another good day tomorrow. Well, welcome to Wednesday morning on Cave Lake. I don't know if I mentioned it or not, it was about 12 degrees when I got here yesterday. It warmed up to about 20. So that was pretty much perfect for hiking weather. Can't beat that at all. It was nice and warm. Last night, I don't know how low it got. It was 10 when I woke up this morning, so a little chilly, but that's fine. I slept like a log. I mean, I love that hammock. It's the best sleep machine I've ever been in on a camping trip. But I woke up at about 4:45 to take care of some Mother Nature's business, and was awakened by the sound of some owls. And you know I'm going to say it. It was a hoot. Anyway, yeah, there was a couple owls around the lake that were chattering back and forth, so that was pretty cool. And I just got up and got the bear bag down. It survived the night, sent the spot message home that I made it through the night okay and everything's all right. And so today's destination is going to be campsite H16. It's just under 10K from here, and the highlight slash challenge of the day is the pig portage, but more on that when we get there. Just bear that in mind, the pig portage. It's overcast, as you can see behind me. There has been actually some rumbles of thunder, but it doesn't really look all that threatening. But I think I'm just going to finish my coffee, have my breakfast, some apple cinnamon oatmeal this morning, and try to get out of here while it's still dry. I'll put the pack cover on just in case it does start to rain, but I'd rather get while the getting's good. I did want to show you what I have in terms of food for the day. You saw one of the Alpine Air dinners last night, but basically what I do is I put the day's fare into just a bag like that, Ziploc bag. So in there I've got oatmeal, I've got a Snickers bar for later, got a couple of things of trail mix for snacks along the way. Lunch is going to be a Cliff Bar and some raisins. And the best part about eating is every time you have something to eat, you know your pack's going to be lighter. Because that first day when you're fully loaded, it's pretty tough. But as you move along and the pack gets lighter, it's a welcome thought, a welcome thing. So anyway, hopefully today I'm more present, because yesterday I felt like I was in a fog. I was so tired the whole day long. But I've stayed at H16 before. It's a beautiful campsite. Really looking to get back there. On my first solo adventure around the park, this was the day when I was actually going a little longer. I was going to H19, but anyway, I was probably about a half hour from H16, and it was about 10:30 in the morning, and I heard wolves, and that was really, really cool. So I was hoping when I took Chris Gibb and Chris Zahorak, aka Wolfman and Lee Majors, that we would be blessed by that same sound when we stayed on H16, but no luck that time. So we'll see. I mean, been pretty lucky so far with the things I've seen. It would be kind of cool to hear the wolves again. I've seen moose, I've seen deer, I've seen otters, I've seen grouse, you know, obviously loons and chipmunks and red squirrels and owls, etc., etc., etc. But I've yet to see a bear or a wolf. If I did see them, I would want to see them from a distance. I have seen evidence of them by their scat. You can identify that pretty easily, but thankfully I haven't seen them up close and personal, and don't really want to. Pictures is fine with me. Anyway, that's the story of the morning. Like I say, I'm just finishing a cup of coffee, going to get the boil a little more water, have my oatmeal, and then start taking down, and hopefully get on the trail by 9 o'clock. I figure I got about a 4.5 hour day with breaks, so I might even be able to make it to the campsite in time for lunch. We'll see. That'll be dependent on Mother Nature and what she decides to do. Hopefully it just stays like this, overcast, and there is no rain. Anyway, we'll check in later. I'm just nearing the pig portage, and as I talked about this morning, evidence that is bear scat. So you know they're in the area, you just have to take your precautions. So let's walk up a little bit, and you can start to see the beginning of the pig. It is the tallest portage in the park, and it forms part of the Silhouette Trail, and it is just a boulder garden all the way up and all the way down. And to make it even more interesting, there's a stream running through it this morning. So I'm going to go about 3/4 of the way up, and then there's a branch off to Topaz Lake, and I want to get some film and pictures of Topaz to show you. So probably be up there in about 15-20 minutes. I'd video the whole thing, but it'd be like hiker porn. There'd be a lot of heavy breathing and a whole lot of expletives. I don't think you want to see that. Well, here we are, Topaz. You, like I say, you take a left turn off of the pig portage to get here, and then it's kind of a climb in, and it is just a beauty. Absolutely stunning, this lake. And you can't really make it out that much today, but that water is just aquamarine in color. It's absolutely beautiful, hence the name. I did camp here on my first solo trip. The campsite is actually tucked down in that area in the corner, and it really doesn't give you this view because you're blocked out by trees, but it's still a pretty lake, beautiful lake. And I wanted to come and take my first break of the day. It took me just over an hour from H6 to get here, so that's a pretty good time, especially given the uphill slog of the pig, but I'm 3/4 of the way up now, so almost done. But I just had to show everybody Topaz Lake, because you know what they say about Topaz, it's a gem. This is the dam. I'm talking a little louder because of the water noise, between Threenarrows Lake and Kirk Creek. And it is really moving with the spring melt. I've been here where it's barely been a trickle going, whoa, sorry about that, where it's barely been a trickle going over that dam. You actually, if you wanted to, I don't know how you do it with the water level right now, but you can cross there and pick up the trail on the other side and probably save yourself 2.5 K. But I'm a purist. I kind of say if you're going to do the trail, do the whole trail, don't take any shortcuts. But even if I was thinking about it, I don't think today would be the day to cross. I think you're going to end up getting very wet. The one thing I did forget to mention too when I was at Topaz is people will take a day hike from the George Lake campground, head up to Topaz to go swimming, and they'll jump off of some of those cliffs that were to the right of the shot that I took. So that's kind of an interesting thing. You wouldn't catch me doing it, not with my fear of heights and the fact that I'm not a very strong swimmer. But for those who are so inclined, they have a blast. Yeah, so this is just a little off the beaten path, but I just wanted to show you it. I'll be following Kirk Creek now, and probably a kilometer and a half down the trail, there's a bridge I'll cross, and I'm thinking of stopping there for lunch. And that, my friends, is wolf poop. Anything that's tubular and the fur's in it like that, that's exactly what it is. So, they're in this area. Well, time for me to scat. So, there's the bridge over Kirk Creek, as promised. A lot narrower here and a nice bridge to cross. So I'm going to have lunch here just to show you the nice rapids that kind of runs down to the bridge. Nice scenic spot. Pretty gorgeous here in Killarney. You really can't beat it. Everywhere you look, there's just something spectacular to see. So I'm gonna have lunch. Hopefully the bugs won't be too god awful. Lord knows every time I've stopped today, they've just swarmed like crazy. But again, very few bites, so that's on the bright side. Let's hope it stays that way. Anyway, we'll check in a little later.